Hello and welcome to Truth and Transparency. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Transparency. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Not sure if this is working.
Today is not a day to celebrate. With the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi.
Take care, Miss Vargas. See you soon, Miss Vargas.
Paparazzi, stop.
What is up, guys? Look at this. Look at this. All right, guys, behind camera review. What's up? What's good? How are we doing? This is going to be a quick little live. So, let's see. What's up, mods? How you guys doing? I'll be traveling a lot for the next 10 days. So, yes. So I'll be all over. So look out, JLR. I'm coming for you. All right, guys. Jumping right into it. Hello to everybody. Members, subscribers, lurkers, moderators. Let's do it. IGG. What do we? This is all we need. This is all we need. Okay? This is all we need. I only need the damn dates of the following. Okay? Emails of dates to contract said person to do IGG. Is that too much to ask for anybody? You think that's a lot? I think that's, come on. Like, how can you say no to that? Chain of custody. This is what they're trying to hide, is the chain of custody. Why are you trying to hide chain of custody? Well, I want chain of custody. So with all communication from lab to obtain the DNA sample to then be extracted, okay, into the profile needed to create the profile. All right, because it's different. After all of my conversations with Ms. Vargas that have nothing to do with the Idaho4 case, this is just IGG in general and how they do it. You don't just say, oh, here's what we got from CODIS. Here you go. That's not how it works at all. So 1C here. Oh, can't even add. How much DNA was obtained from, and they already know this, they should know this, how much DNA was obtained from the scene, how much DNA was on that sheath. They should know that already. Number 3, how much was used for each thing that they did with the DNA when they extracted it? CODIS, then they did this, ID. What's left? What do I have to work with? What does anybody have to work with? If you're on the defense, okay? So what's up? Again, these are things that they may already know, those last 2. Number 4, name of the lab, name of the genealogist, right? I mean, come on. Why do they want to hide that? Who, name me the lab and name me the person. All right? You guys want to write books. You guys want to, claim all this fame to everything that you do. Well, now now you want to not give your name and not give your lab. Why? That doesn't make any sense. Next, all signed contracts. All signed contracts. Number 6, date of lab obtaining the DNA. Okay. So the lab that you pick to do the extraction, what's the date that they got it? What's the date of that? Okay. And then they're going to do the extraction, and then they're going to then give there's going to be a profile, and they're going to be handing that to the genealogist. So again, I want the date of the lab obtaining the sample. Then the date or dates the lab extracted the data. Like, how long did it take to extract the data and put it into create this profile? Next, number 8. Then the date of when the profile was created. This is the DNA profile, okay? After you do all your extractions, you finally got the DNA profile. The data. This is the data. Then I want the date that the profile was given to the genealogist to begin IGG work. And they think this is all protected? Like, what is the problem here? These are reports. Then I want the sites that were used, anything that you uploaded, any contact that was made with the kit to the sites. If it's a law enforcement kit, which it is, there has to be a money receipt for it. Next, dates of each site submission of Bryan's kit. Wherever you were uploading this. Remember, some of these sites you can't even use them for law enforcement. 12, I want the notes and the screenshots that they said that they had some notes, and they don't know if they took any screenshots, but I want the metadata behind the screenshots because I want to know the date. Like, you're not just going to hand me pictures and say that this was from a time. No, I want metadata behind it. So notes, and if there are screenshots of the work, like you're taking like screenshots of your computer, you're taking screenshots of your work. People do it all the time. I do it all the time. Everybody does screenshots. There's metadata behind screenshots. All communication between genealogist and case lead. Then when you're working your case, because your genealogist is then working the case, all the communication between your genealogist and your case lead. Number 14. The final 4 people before they said Bryan Kohberger's name as their suspect, tip submission, you're building this. Like, you had to have it could be, it's people that are related, so like, when you were working it down, okay, I'm not going to go with this 88-year-old because they fell out of it, or they are in this area, or they were in this area. I was watching social media and they were traveling, and, so like when you were narrowing it all down, what was your narrow down to? And we will do a protective order. And seal the names, and that's fine. But number 15, date on submission of said name to case lead. That should be from the emails. How did you submit your tip? The date. All names and contacts of anyone that this genealogist would have told the name to. They consult with people all the time in this business. "17. Anyone this genealogist consulted with and had any communication with that's in the field of IGG/lab work DNA, who the tip was submitted to, and any information that was submitted with the tip." Now, you tell me out of this how any judge is going to say, that's all protected. You tell me how Ann Taylor doesn't get her hands on this. You tell me one thing that I mentioned in this list that is, oh my God, how damn dare you? I'll wait for it. There is nothing that you could say about this list where you would be like, Lana, you're insane that you think that you could ask for this. I'm going to say, you're insane to think that this is protected work. This is 100% investigative detective work. I am a new intern, okay? And let me just tell you, what would be the big secret? There's no big secret. There's no big secret here. So what on this list is just like, I mean, how damn dare you think that you can hide the chain of custody of fucking DNA of Bryan Kohberger and just passing it around wherever the fuck you want? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That'd be like somebody submits a tip to the FBI line or to a local law enforcement line, and oh my God, I really like what they had to say. Let me just go give them the suspects. Let me just go and give them some crime scene DNA and see what they can do for it. What? Think about that. Oh my God, I really, really liked what they wrote into the tip line. I am going to call them up and I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to give you some DNA that was found at the crime scene and see what you can do with it. Let that sink in. So, ridiculous chain of custody. We're not going to tell you're not going to tell us what you did with evidence at the crime scene. Have you really think that that's going to fly? Like this, ask, like, do you say that out loud? Say that out loud. Think about that. Just think about that. Like, we're all at a crime scene and just like, hey, I'm going to take this DNA that we obtained and I'm going to go and just give it to somebody and not have to talk about who I gave it to and what they did with it. And where is it now? Well, it was made to make a profile. You don't, what? I mean, think about that. That's like, say that out loud. Jesus. Wait, what do you mean you took evidence from the crime scene? Yeah. Well, where's the evidence log? What do you mean? You signed it out to go do what you go do with it. Took it to the lab. Okay. Then you have to sign it back in and, you have to store it in the evidence locker. And where's all this fucking paper trail? Well, this is protected work. Wait, excuse me? No, it's not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You taking something from a crime scene and using it and doing whatever that you think that you want with it is not protected. And anybody that says that it is and wants to argue, you look like a fool. And if anybody that would side with any of this bullshit is a bigger fool. Ann Taylor is all she needs is a couple dates. Silly Lana, we can't give you what's not there. And they're going to just look like idiots. They're going to look like idiots when they say to the jury, wait, you had this other unknown DNA, but you didn't go all ham like this for that DNA, but you did with this DNA? Well, yeah, because we didn't think that mattered. Excuse me? 4 people were murdered. 4 people in 8 minutes, and you don't think there's possibly 2 people? You're going to look like a fool. How is that? That in itself is reasonable doubt, that there's other people's DNA that's unaccounted for in that house. How is that in itself is reasonable doubt? Well, it's reasonable that the person that they couldn't get the DNA off of, and they said that they talked to all these people, and all the other people that they talked to are saying who's normally been in that house, and so their DNA should be in that house. Sometimes when your DNA is not where it should be, it's also a problem too, because like you're wiping stuff down. Just unbelievable that you can literally look at this list and think to yourself, anything on here should be protected work. I think that you're a flipping idiot. And I pray that you don't do your kids' homeworks with them. Speaking of homework, true story. I have to get this out. This is the best story I'm ever going to tell. My son had his first kind of homework assignment, and it's math, and I just love math. Bring it on. Let me grab it. Okay. So, a fruit salad has 37 grapes and 45 grapes. How many grapes are in the fruit salad? These are your options. Perfect question. Then we come to Tim chose A as the correct answer. How did Tim get his answer? I said, excuse me? I said, how would I know how Tim got the wrong answer? How would I know how Tim did not get the right answer? That's my response. My son is laughing because I'm like, excuse me? Then he's like, no, I can't help it that Tim's an idiot. I'm not going to sit here and tell you why Tim got the wrong answer. I have no idea why Tim got the wrong answer because he's an idiot. No. He's like, no, it's he took away a 10. That's the answer. He took away a 10 instead of adding a 10 in the little crazy math world that they do now. Okay. And I said, excuse me? Jack's answer. This is mine. I said, love mama. I said, this was to make you laugh because that's how I think that should be answered. I said, have a great weekend. Blah, blah. But I literally looked at this. I said, Tim chose A. Well, Tim's a moron. My son starts laughing. I'm like, well, how would I know? How would you know how Tim got the wrong answer? I said, you wonder why our kids are struggling these days? Because y'all are doing this with them. So I left that on his homework. And so that's my answer. Why would I give a rat's ass? Or should my kid care why somebody got the wrong answer? Okay. Anyways, I just had to share that with you guys. Excuse me? I get it. Well, you want to see how he made that error. But really, what if Tim didn't get the wrong answer that way? Maybe he got the wrong answer a different way. You know what I mean? I don't want my kid thinking that way. Why? Why? Why is that even a question? I don't even know that answer. That's what I should have put. I don't even know that answer. And neither do you. And neither does anybody. Because why would we know what somebody else is thinking when they did what they did? Just wow. Boy, oh boy. Then, what else do we have? Dan has 29 books. Kayla has 3 more books than Dan. How many books does Dan have and Kayla have altogether? Show your work. What work? This really ridiculous way of adding nowadays? I just can't. I just can't even. Don't forget our Veteran Day Assembly. That's how I feel about that. Timmy's failing. Why is Timmy failing? Well, we're all failing now. 29 was 62. Are you doing work? Are you doing work? So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Why are we switching that? Okay. Sorry, I was grabbing something. Math. Okay, anyways, so there you go. This 100% is all you need. Like I said, I love math, and I'm just like, they need to stop. They need to stop ruining my favorite subject. So, again, IGG, I think it should all be turning over. Nothing on this list. And then what do you guys think? Put your answers in chat. I'll highlight them. What do you think else? Super Geek, I will open the panel, but not tonight. I got a lot of things to do. This is going to be a quick live, so otherwise, no, Lana, there's no IGG. I know there's no IGG. You down with IGG? Yeah, you know me. Every last lady. Super Geek, Greek. I'm telling you, very, very, very strong possibility. You would not be going this hard for this. But then again, you could just do it a different way. You down with IGG? Yeah. All right, guys. Again, Lana, will Anne be challenging the SNP profile? I think it's all going to depend on how this plays out. I think that everything should be turned over. I think the only thing that should be protected, because nobody cares. You just want dates and timestamps. You want custody. You want chain of custody, dates and timestamps, and communication. You want the communication of like any text messages, any emails, everything that I have right here. Okay, none of this is protected, and this is all I want. I literally made this list, and if you could think of anything else, feel free to say what else you would want if you were doing it. But this is not rocket science. This is it's investigative work. Okay, it's scientific. It's not. These are memos. These are notes. This is reports. This is communication. This is what you did to 100% arrest that man. And if I'm in his shoes, I want to face my accusers. I want to face whoever said whatever, whoever did whatever. I want to face my accusers. In the lab and their work in the lab and the person that created it, that gave the name, they're accusing that DNA belonged to me. So I want to face that. So how you can say that I'm not entitled to that, you can kick rocks. And if that's what our world is coming to, we have problems, man. We have problems. Start paying attention to who the fuck you're voting for, because any judge that turns this shit down, we have problems. Again, this should not even, nobody should even be challenging this. The prosecution should not be fighting this. Give this material here. What do you think Ann Taylor wants? Phone numbers and emails to harass people? What is wrong? Like, what aren't people understanding? Like, there's nothing that is protected when you want to talk about this stuff. And anybody that's trying to protect this information right here, why? What right here is, oh my God, how could they ever ask for that? No, you're not going to just go build a case some whack ass way. That's the way that they do math nowadays. Okay, no, I don't care how Timmy got the wrong answer. I want to know what you did to get the name that you got and why you arrested me. It's like at the end of it where it's like, but I got the right answer. Look, at the DNA did match you at the end. Yeah, well, guess what? You copied off of Sarah, though, right? Remember the whole thing, show your work because you copied off of Sarah? We're not just going to let you, you got to do all that crazy work to show that you actually, So there's always a method to my madness. Oh, thanks, Kimberly. Yes, I try. Diana brings facts backed by the docs. It's so simple. If they lied and cheated to get the DNA, who is to say they're not lying about if they planted it on the DNA? Well, yeah, that's the whole point. 100%. And just because, and we're also not pointing the finger at law enforcement to be the ones that planted the DNA or that planted the sheath, you know what I mean? That had that on there. Okay. You know how many people were in that house? 911 wasn't called for 9 hours. People, hello. Okay. So those are circumstances right there that it's fair game. That crime seems so contaminated. And it's really, really frustrating. That there should even be a behind the scenes review of stuff. Okay. But I 100 believe that they got huge problems, and that's why the FBI had their fucking happy asses out there. You guys, you don't win the IGG claim where judge gets to see everything. Okay. That's a fucking fat loss. He already said they're getting like some of it, or he just needs to see what the hell it all consists of to see if anything needs to be protected. So like, why doesn't mainstream media want to talk about the fact that, oh, the reason that the FBI was in there and that they were allowed to go in there is because we didn't try to beef up our case because we're going to be FUCK'd. Literally 2 days after that order, the order comes out, FBI is in the Moscow house. Are you guys, what is everybody smoking, man? It's pretty freaking obvious to me. I mean, it's that predictable. Going in there to take scans and stuff. You had the house for a year. And you know who should be the biggest people that should be literally raising holy hell? The parents. The parents of those victims. I'd be irate. I would be like, what in the world are y'all doing? And don't say, oh, we thought that there was going to be a trial that started in October. You had from freaking January to October. I am going to have Scott Roeder on here next week. And guess what he's going to tell everybody? something's off. They should have had all that. And not only that, but how long do they think this takes? What are they trying to reenact here? Scotty too hottie. But I am screaming, yes. Yeah, what are they smoking? Yeah, because people in Moscow be smoking crazy stuff. I finally got in contact with Steve Harmon. He's slaying away at the bagel guy. So, yeah, the house is full of echoes. Not only that, but it's just, mm-mm. Why don't you go figure out whose DNA the three unknowns are? How about that? How about we start there? What, nobody's going to believe? Nobody's going to believe Dylan's story? No one's going to believe what? I just blew up their story. Their stairs right next to that house, them going up and down stairs, and they're going to try to say it's in the house. It's reasonable to think that it could be literally right next to the house to get up over there on Lind Lane. So, they got problems. And one of them's Lana. They got a dog right there that barks right when we walk by. It was on my live that I did the other day. From this information right here, the state's case is either made or it's blown up. Right here. I know I love the Shagat's Bagel Boy. Haha. Have some bagel. Linda Lane, you can't tell any of those cars. Throw that out the window. You want to say headlights and stuff like that. Well, then if you're going to use headlights, and you better use screams. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't get to pick and choose. But yes, you do when you do your probable cause. Sure, you can, but you also have to pick and choose the exculpatory evidence that would you probably left out. Stuff that would look, to help the defendant. Scans. They were doing scans. I have again, just lying to the public, not doing their scans. Oh, our scans didn't work. Took 4,000 photos. You had 3D scans. Ann Taylor was in there day one. Okay, doing all her shit. All right. You have the blueprint. What do you need? And we're going to hear from Scott Roeder to see everything that he would do and how that all works out. Thank you, Suzanne Wood. But I'm trying to think if I missed anything on my 18, but there's nothing that is protected with this IGG shit. And I'm doing it myself. I told Ms. Vargas I want to learn it, and that way it's just going to round me out, because if it's going to be an innovative thing that they're going to start using, I want to know exactly how it works. I want to know these labs. I want to know everything about it. And that's what I'm doing. So I've been, working with the best. And I don't know if she's listening, but Ms. Vargas, go knock him dead tomorrow. Yeah, ISP said that they did. Yeah, he did 100. He did that. They did multiple scans. Now the FBI wants to come in because I don't know. Maybe the FBI is over here like, hey, we're going to start calling out the Moscow Police Department or ISP for the shit that they've done. And, but you guys, none of this stuff should be done in the dark. Okay. If Bryan Kohberger is guilty, he needs to be proven so, and then he needs to never see the light of day. Okay. That goes for anybody and everybody. But you can't just do it. You can't just fucking do whatever the hell you want. And I'm sorry, but trust me, when it comes down to you and yours, and this is happening to your kid, okay, like, it's, if he's so damn guilty, that's why at least I'm sorry, but I can respect Mr. Gonsalves when he says he wants transparency, put it in the courtroom, lay it all out there, all of it, lay it all out there, okay? They've already been through hell. When people say, like, we don't want to put families through this, well, me, I don't want it to haunt me. I don't want to think, like, what if or what if. No, I want it all out there, okay? I want to be able to deal with it all so that I can go ahead and try to heal in some capacity so that I can enjoy my grandkids or, my other kids and remember my kid. But lingering stuff and the secrecy, okay, that's like a missing person, like something's missing. Like, no, give it all. That's what I want. That's what's going to help me. If you guys care about us as being the victims of, because it was our kids. And then guess what? If you're a parent that doesn't want to know about it and doesn't want to hear about it, you have the opportunity to not show up to the courthouse. You have the opportunity to not read the papers. You can choose not to listen. Okay. But just because you don't want to listen doesn't mean I don't want to listen. I do want to listen. I do want to see it. Maybe some parents had different relationships with their kids than the other parents did. And there's some parents who are like, what the hell? Because my kid told me some stuff that was going on, and then this happened, and now I'm questioning this, and then I'm getting all these different answers, and just nothing's making sense. I can tell you from talking to the Watts family back in the day, okay, all they did, like, they just wanted a bunch of answers and that they never got. And I said, well, the first thing you want to do is stop talking to your son, who's just been lying to you. I mean, he's been lying to her for his parents since, he married Shanann. It's just everything's lies. Her whole life was a lie. Okay. But they wanted to know what happened to their grandkids. They wanted to know if Shanann was really pregnant. They wanted to know if that was their grandbaby. Like, there was things that they just wanted to know that they were never told, and they were never treated like victims. They were treated like perpetrators, but the not knowing sucks. So be transparent, and we should be demanding it, as we, the people of the United States of America, should be demanding this. And we have the right to it. We're not asking for anything. We just want the truth, and you get the truth through transparency. So, and anybody thinks that you don't, then I don't know, then enlighten me. Redact all the private shit, people's phone numbers, but people's statements and what someone said and what people did and reports and dates, and no, fuck that. Put that shit out there. Every phone call, every tip, everything. Because I want to know. I'm just saying, if it was me, I'd want to know what every little shit had to say. I want to know if anybody lied to my face after my kid was murdered. The media needs to stop being puppets. So Anna was raspy, then started getting better, now raspy again. And what going on a road trip now at Truth and Transparency? Take your vitamins. The Richard, I think you keep up with my life more than I keep up with my life. My whole life has always been raspy. It's always going to have a little rasp in it. Lana, do you trust Ann Taylor? I do. I trust Ann Taylor. Ann Taylor knows how these cops operate. Ann Taylor knows what these, and what I mean by that is that they're sloppy, and they get fixed. They get tunnel vision, and they've done it in other cases. And then if something's just staring them straight in the face, and they won't, hey, they got egos, and nope. But this is people's lives. Okay, this isn't like, this is just, there's just no place for that. So I think that she knows she's in for a dogfight. She has no problem going up against them, and I don't think that she's scared or going to bow down or whatever. I mean, when you say trust, I don't know. I trust that she wants to do things the right way, and I think that she's smart enough that if they're going to be shitty and shady, then she knows that that's how they are. So she needs to be 5 steps ahead before she makes her moves with things. So I do think that. And I think that she knows that this is going to trial and she has to be liked by the jury. That's part of it. Why wouldn't anyone trust Ann Taylor? I think because they are saying because she went to the University of Idaho. You guys, okay, guys, public defender. Ann runs the public defender's office, first of all. And Ann chose to go back to doing that. She was in private. Like, the woman is good enough to do whatever the hell she wants to do. Look at Baldwin and Rossi from Delphi. I mean, you're not, when people say like you're getting handed a public defender, it's, there's a tier. This is what I've learned. There's a tier. There's an A tier, a B tier, and a C tier, at least in Colorado, when I got to deal with Jane Fisher and her explaining things. And she was like, do you remember the Colorado theater shooter, the Aurora shooter? And I said, yeah. She's like, his defense team, he got an A tier public defender's team. She looked at the people that were on the Chris Watts case. She said, yeah, Chris Watts, he got B or C level. And so now looking here at, with the Idaho case, you're getting the person that's running the show. And she has all the resources, meaning it's state money. Okay. Bryan is up against the death penalty. She can write checks for whatever the fuck she wants to write checks for. When you want to talk about having your experts, when you want to talk about go getting, your investigators, there's not, Bryan Kohberger is going to have the best defense money can buy if you want the truth. So, and I think we're already seeing that. You know how much money has already been spent? $20 memberships? Kelly, woo-wee, who's all these new members? Look at this. Woo! Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Thank you. Lana, I'd give anything to have you either second chair or across the aisle. You're on point. Thanks, Sin City. Oh, I'll be there. I'm rearranging my whole life to be there. Lana, you're just going to go to Moscow for 6 weeks? Sure am. I'm going to write a book. Um, 99 Problems, Atlanta's one of them. Truth telling over here. Why did Anne waive the speedy trial? It was prosecution issue. Anne waived it because they were fighting different things, and I mean, you got a man's life on the line, and they have a ton of issues that they have to bring up. That there's gonna. They just went ahead and just did the grand jury stuff. Now they're doing this. She doesn't even have all the damn discovery. She doesn't even have all the discovery. She didn't want to. She didn't want to, and I mean, I highly doubt that Latah is got a crazy little. I mean, I'm sure Bryan's not being bothered, and if he's working with his defense team and he's just being left alone. I mean, I just know that I wouldn't I'm not going to be sitting in county with a bunch of riffraff, But this is like high profile, and I mean, what would he kind of be doing if he wasn't in jail and he was out? Probably the same thing, just sitting in his basement. I don't know. No, I did not. I never dug into the Kylie Rodney case. And I have no interest. I did maybe one or two little briefs on it. Without this, I don't see this coming. I said it the other day, and I'll say it again, and I'm going to wrap this up. I wanted to keep this short. Does Bryan Kohberger get arrested if the DNA on that, if that sheath's not there, if that DNA is not, is anybody arrested in this case? And the answer is no. Anybody who says otherwise is an idiot. But the answer is no. In fact, Judge Megan was not. That's why Payne had to put it in the probable cause that the dads matched and blah blah blah. It was a match to a parent exclusive to blah blah blah. Because they needed that to get the arrest. Because otherwise you would have done what you did to get in the apartment and to get in the house and get in the car. You didn't use the DNA, and you got the DNA connection, and you got those warrants. But they couldn't get it without the IGG work and that lead. Okay. And so anybody that says that that's not lead to the arrest of Bryan Kohberger, again, that's just what the state is claiming. That's not what the judge is claiming. That's what the state is claiming. We're going to find out here real soon how important that was. You're not getting the arrest of Bryan Kohberger without the IGG work, period. Because if you take away that name, how do they get to Bryan Kohberger? I've been asking that question since this happened. How did they get to Bryan Kohberger? Go back and watch my first episodes right when he was arrested. How did you get to Bryan Kohberger? That's amazing police work, because he had no connections to any of those people. How did you get to him? And that's what the defense was asking in their motions. What came first? IGG tip of Bryan Kohberger, okay? Or this little car you were chasing around that's going the wrong way? So, and for the defense to continue to keep asking that question, and for the judge to be reading these unredacted motions, we're seeing stuff that's been obviously sealed. He's seeing everything not sealed. And in his 32-page order, he doesn't know what dates anything is. That should tell you everything. It's because it's not out there yet. And I'm sorry, but that's not how the law works. You don't get to, as a defendant, go blind against, like, what are you charging me with, and what do you have against me? What do you have? You don't get to bring stuff, to the table later, or, no. So every single day you're violating my rights. And so after this, then there's going to be a suppression hearing. And I'm sorry, but I don't think that DNA is going to get it. I don't see it being in the courtroom. I do not see the DNA being and making it to trial on the sheath. Because I said, even if they used IGG, they used the loophole, which you can't use with the law enforcement kits. And they would have used law enforcement. They would have used people that were that opted out, and therefore you would have never been able to build your tree. And so then it's fruit of the poison. That's not getting in. And so that's why I keep saying, how are you going to convict this man? And that's why when I hear Steve Gonsalves say that there's all this other shit, if you knew about all this other stuff, and I'm just like, okay. Well, I hope to God. But now, the FBI was back in that house 2 days ago, Steve. So now I'm going to ask that question again. So we'll see. I want to see the work. I want to see how they got the trash on the 27th. What was the custody of getting the trash in Pennsylvania? So then you guys got on a plane, took an FBI plane, chartered a plane, flew it to Idaho, to the Idaho State Lab. Okay, because that's the reports that the Idaho State Lab did that. Now, what are you going to say? That you went to Quantico? You went to Virginia? You went where? Or you just did it at the Pennsylvania State Lab? I mean, no, you said you went to Idaho and that you did it, and that, you're able to have this turnaround within, 24 hours, which is great. Okay, perfect. But yet, and then what pieces of the trash was tested, and did you come across his sisters? Because the whole damn family was there. So did his sisters run through there? His mom? And then how many attempts did y'all try to get, once you got his name, did you guys try to, go and, obtain his DNA? I mean, you guys were following him for how fucking long? You guys knew about his name. I'm sorry. And the very latest, 11/24 or 5, at the latest, in my opinion, by my work. I mean, your search warrants are so telling. And then just because you got the search warrants and you got the inventory back, do you know how long it takes to go through that shit and put that and extract it manually and then put it all together on a big old fucking Excel sheet? I mean, you got the 4 victims, you got the 2 survivors, and you got all their friends, then you got their parents, and you got Facebook, Snapchat, Insta, Twitter. And you want to think that they arrested a stranger within 7 weeks after building a case within 2, in my opinion. So you knew him, and then you had to build that case because you were going to hide how you got there. Let that all sink in. And then think about, wow, this breakthrough. This is all a big political thing. Because wow. You guys have been giving your DNA to these sites that have just been handing it over to the law enforcement work, and y'all didn't even know. I say we start a class action lawsuit. Let's get in on that shit. But it's crickets from BK's family. They should be quiet. Don't say a word. I wouldn't speak a word. Because then no one can say anything about them. You hear them being talked about? Is anyone talking about them? Is anyone saying a damn word about them? No, because they're not saying anything. There's nothing to say then. When you speak, it's dissected every single which way possible. There's nothing to say. You don't need to say anything. If the Chris Watts case didn't teach anybody anything, fucking Chris Watts talking to YouTubers, fucking moron. Talking to YouTubers, writing them letters. Out of here. Meanwhile, he's signing up for lube and stuff at the commissary. Anyways, all right, you guys have been great. You guys have been real awesome. Woo, love it. But I want to have a panel show, and so I'm thinking Saturday, 2-minute panel show. Let you guys come up, say what you think about all the latest and the greatest in the different cases that we cover here, and yeah, sounds like a plan. Moderators, thank you so much for all of your amazingness in chat. Consider being a member if you aren't one. Get a lot of those late night bonuses. And then, yeah, so like the video, share it, or if it wasn't your cup of tea, thumbs this motherfucker down. You have an opinion, make it known. Deuces. Until next time. Oh, I'll be doing a lot of coverage here coming up on Dr. Moore's case. I got a lot of stuff on Dr. Moore's case that I've been working on. So I'm going to drop some bombs on Dr. Moore's case. So hi, Karen. Hi, Dan. If you guys are watching. Hi, Jennifer Drake. Who's ever watching. All right. Until next time, guys. Peace out, Girl Scouts.